Welcome to Inside City Hall, the podcast that gives you a closer look at the people, projects, and policies shaping the city of Madison. On today's episode, backpacks and brake lights, we're driving into school traffic. As students head back to school, our roads start to look a little different, more buses, more crosswalks in use, and more parents navigating drop-off lines. We could all use a refresher on how to stay safe behind the wheel for everyone's benefit. I'm Samantha Magnuson, and today I'm joined by Officer Mike Dixon, who leads the traffic division at Madison Police Department. He and his team are out in Madison every day, making sure our roads and especially our school zones stay safe. Welcome to the podcast.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know you guys aren't always on camera, so I appreciate you being willing to get behind the microphone.
No, that's not a problem at all. We want to try and spread the information that we can.
Absolutely. It's an important topic to discuss as schools are back in swing. So let's start with the big picture. What does the start of school year look like from your perspective, and how does it impact traffic citywide?
Well, it's kind of hectic. Everybody's trying to get to the new norm because they're out of practice for the last 2 months or so, with everybody trying to get their kids to and from school, school buses, students walking, riding their bikes. It's going to take a little extra time compared to the last 2 months when the school was out.
Well, how do you guys prep for the start of school and in your plans?
We actually have message boards that we put out to try and remind people. School starts on this day. All of the city school zones, every school in the city limits of Madison, their school zone, the speed limit is 25 miles an hour. So we put that out there to try and remind everybody, hey, look, school starts on this date. School zones become active on this date as well. Every school zone has a school zone speed limit sign that has little yellow lights that turn on and off. We don't set the times. The Department of Transportation and the school board, they set those times, but they turn those on about 2 or 3 days beforehand just to try and get drivers to remember, oh, hey, look, there's a school zone here. Mm-hmm. We make sure that all the light bulbs are working and everybody knows what's going on with it.
Are you guys usually out in extra force these first few weeks as people get going?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. My team right now, we have myself and 4 officers that are assigned to the traffic unit, not to mention the officers that are on duty for patrol, all the SROs. Everybody's going to be in a school zone during the active times to try and get people to slow down, watch for pedestrians, watch for cars coming in and out, things of that nature. So it's not just the traffic unit, it's the entire police department as a whole trying to solve these issues and prevent accidents and injuries.
Absolutely. All right. What are some of the common mistakes or risky behaviors that you see from drivers during this time of year?
That's a lot. Unfortunately, people don't leave their home in enough time. They don't leave early enough to give them enough time to get to where they're going, not realizing, hey, look, I've got to go through 3 school zones to get to where I'm at. So that leads to people speeding, tailgating, which in turn leads to road rage. Driving how they normally wouldn't do, passing people in a center median, driving down the center median about 1.5 miles to where they need to make their left-hand turn, things of that nature. It's just, that's the biggest issue, speed and time.
Mm-hmm. People need to plan ahead.
Plan ahead, plan early, leave early. Mm-hmm. Give yourself, as my wife would say, enough cushion to get there. Yes. Another margin, I think is what she says. So, I mean, my wife's pretty smart, other than she married me, but hey, whatever. So the school zones not leaving their home early enough to get to where they need to be. The increased traffic because people are taking their kids to school, especially the first week or two. Everybody wants to take their child to school because I do it myself. Their first day of school, you want to go and meet the teacher and make sure they're getting in there all right, get your picture or whatever. But that leads to other issues.
Sure.
Increased traffic, people trying to come in and out of the school. We got crossing guards, school buses, everything else coming in and out. Last year, we had a 53% ridership for school buses. Wow. Which is improved over 2024, which was at about a 40% ridership. If after the first week, if we can get more people to put their children on a school bus, it will actually take the traffic and make it less because you don't have mom or dad trying to take their kids to school. That's an extra car. Well, if they put them on a school bus, we don't have that extra car out there. It could, one, save you time by putting your kid on a school bus. You can leave and go straight to work. Um, but that's what the school buses are for. They're safe. They've got cameras. All the drivers are vetted. We haven't had any incidents of any injuries from car wrecks or anything like that. So it's a very safe and reliable option for these parents to get their kids to school.
Absolutely. And, the one thing I think our office hears all the time is the complaint about Madison traffic. And I think traffic in Madison is really only difficult to get through during those high traffic times of school drop off and commutes to work. So I listen to a podcast, I listen to a book on tape. I just kind of plan in that extra time. What do you do on your road in?
Well, I'm always in early because I'm trying to get into the school zones to get everybody to slow down and pay attention and things of that nature. But the best thing that I can suggest is just to leave yourself enough margin to be able to get to where you're going on time. So you're not having to speed, you're not having to tailgate, cut people off, or driving crazy or anything like that to get to where you're going. So you aren't late to your meeting or wherever you're trying to get.
Absolutely. Plan ahead. Let's talk about the school buses. What are the most important rules that drivers should follow when they see the red flashing lights?
That is a very good question. A lot of people, I don't know if they're coming from other states because we are a transient. We have a lot of people coming in from the outside. But here in the state of Alabama, you are not allowed to pass a school bus that has its stop sign out and the lights are flashing and everything like that. The only opportunity or the only reason that you would pass a stop school bus is if it's on a divided highway. And it has, when I say divided highway, I'm not talking like a paved median or anything like that. I'm talking about a grass median. Like on Madison Boulevard, it's got that grass median that runs down the middle of it. As long as we don't have any school buses that stop on Madison Boulevard, but I'm using it as an example. If a school bus stops out there on Madison Boulevard and there's a grass median, the cars going in the opposite direction do not have to stop because kids are not allowed to walk across the road through a median to get to the other side. School bus has to let them off on the right-hand side. Now, Hughes Road, Old Madison Pike, County Line, it's got that paved center median where it's actually a turn lane to make a left-hand turn or things of that nature. If
you're in high demand, and I don't want you to turn on silent because you have important things to do.
If you're on any of those roads that's got the paved median, you do have to stop because there's no barrier there to keep a child from going across to the other side.
Sure.
Now, they've been instructed not to by the school bus driver and things of that nature, but you've got to be careful with that. Neighborhoods are, for some reason, very tricky for people. There is no median. There is no painted lines or anything like that. We've had complaints about people coming from behind the school bus with the stop sign out, the lights flashing. They would pass the school bus from behind on the left-hand side to go around them and keep and pass them and go wherever they need to go. I mean, come on.
It's so dangerous. Would
you want your child to be in that situation? Because, I mean, kids can be kids. They're going to run across the street. They're not going to look because, hey, look, I've got a school bus and it's got stop signs out. It's supposed to protect me. They're just going to run out, and then because you're doing something wrong, somebody's child could get struck. Imagine that was your child. You would want somebody to stop for your child as well, correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of common sense. You just don't do that. You don't pass the school bus.
But it's still such a problem, and thankfully there haven't been issues with any child getting struck. But it's better to be safe than sorry and just follow the rules. Now, what is the fine? Let's talk pressure of the fine because maybe that'll make people pay a little more attention to that.
Right now, I believe, because we don't set the fines, it's always through the court, but I believe it's about a $250 to $300 fine. Now, just because we're not there and we don't see it, passing a stop school bus is one of the laws in the state of Alabama that allows the school bus driver to come in, fill out an affidavit, a ticket will be issued, they swear to the ticket, and then we send a summons to the driver. They have to come into court. The school bus driver will come into court. They'll bring their video because all of the school buses have cameras on them, especially on the outside of the bus, showing cars that are passing the stop school buses.
Right.
So just because you don't see a police officer there and you don't get pulled over at the time, doesn't mean that you're not going to get a ticket for it later on, because it can be sent to you.
Right. So, being patient for an extra 20 seconds is well worth the child's safety and not spending $300 on a ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the more you do it, the higher the fine could be. I mean, we just don't want that kind of thing to happen. We want everybody to be safe. We understand that it gets frustrating because, especially if you go down Waltrana Highway, you've got all the apartment complexes, you've got some residents out there. So a school bus might make 4 or 5 stops on one busy highway. Well, take a little more time. Just be a little patient. Imagine that was your child getting off that school bus.
Absolutely.
Drive safe.
And crossing guards, many people might not know, but they are hired through the city of Madison. Not necessarily the school system hires them, but they work for the police department. So what should drivers know about crossing guards, both in terms of legal responsibility and simple courtesy?
Well, we'll talk about courtesy at first. I mean, you want to treat everybody with kindness. I mean, you want everybody to treat everybody like your parent or your brother, sister, wife, significant other, whatever the case. So you want to treat them with a little bit of respect. I mean, don't argue with them. Don't talk down to them. They're just out there doing a job just like everybody else. Legally, they do work for the City of Madison Police Department. They do have the option of issuing or getting summonses issued for drivers that aren't obeying their traffic control efforts. If they're out there directing traffic and they're telling you to stop and you refuse to, they can get your tag number, issue a citation, or a citation can be issued for them, for the driver, and go to court, and just like anybody else. It's like law enforcement. So yes, you do have to obey what they're saying. We don't want anything happen to them. They're not out there to be vindictive or trying to cause you to be late or anything like that. They're trying to keep everybody safe and do it in an orderly fashion. We actually had a crossing guard that was actually struck by a car that she was actually seriously injured. Thankfully, she made a full recovery. She's doing really well. We're very pleased with that. We can't wait for her to come back. But they're just there to do a job. Nobody wants to get hit by a car. We don't want to cause any crashes or anything like that. Just let them do their job.
Absolutely. And if everyone can be patient, then the traffic moves even better.
Even better. If you start getting impatient, you start honking your horn, you start tailgating, you start doing anything like that, it just makes it a whole lot worse, and it could take more time because you're trying to figure out, okay, why is this person blowing their horn? Why are they being so aggressive? There's something going on other than stuck in traffic. Is there a fight in the car? Just be patient.
Right.
Leave your house in enough time.
Yeah. And pay attention, I guess, too, because I think you get in these long lines and people might pull out their phone to fiddle with a text message or music or whatever. And I don't know what exactly caused the crossing guard to get struck last year, but their safety, they're out in the middle of the road and these cars are just whizzing right by them. So talk on just the importance of alertness.
Yeah, just be alert. I mean, Alabama is a hands-free law state. You're not allowed to have your cell phone in your hand whatsoever. You can adjust the GPS with one finger only. It can't be in your lap or on your hand or anything like that. So people shouldn't be on that in the first place. But pay attention in a school zone. You're going to have kids that are on the road. You got crossing guards that are standing out there. You've got school buses that are coming in and out. You want to pay more attention in that area. You want to be paying attention the entire time you're operating a motor vehicle, of course. But when you're in a school zone, it's very important. You've got all these kids running around. You got an increase of traffic, people standing out in the middle of the road, things like that. I mean, you just got to really pay attention. If you need to, turn your radio off. Your phone shouldn't be in your hand. And you don't need to be eating. I've seen people driving on the road eating their breakfast, putting on their makeup, doing their hair. I don't have any hair, so I don't have to worry about that. But
distracted driving in general. Just don't do it.
Don't do it. You're operating a 2,000 to 4,000 pound vehicle. It could easily crush somebody, hurt somebody.
Well, and speaking on those crossing guards too, are we ever recruiting for crossing guards?
We actually are recruiting for crossing guards. We have 2 open positions at this time. Again, you would work for the City of Madison Police Department, and you can go on the city website, and it will send you to a link for Gov Jobs, and they'll be posting that today. So we do
Great.
have 2 openings.
Great. And that is part-time?
It is part-time. They work, I don't know how their hours will work. I know they work in the morning and the afternoon because that's when school's letting in and letting out. We have used them for some various special events for traffic control, which would be overtime for them, things of that nature. But I don't know what their hours are.
Sure. But we are recruiting, so that's good.
We
need
can
more
always use
people
it.
helping out.
Absolutely.
So that is great. Let me skip ahead here. All right, so we have more students walking and biking to school. So how can drivers keep them safe, especially on those neighborhood roads that you had talked about?
Well, state law says that a vehicle can pass a bicycle going in the same direction, but they have to give them at least 3 feet as the vehicle's passing the bicycle. But you got to take into account, look, these are kids. I mean, they're going to be 9, 10 years old, 11 years old, depending on how far away they live from their school. They're going to do some stupid stuff, and they might jerk the handlebars. They might fall off their bike. It might startle them because they've got their headphones on, listen to their music or whatever. Give them as much room as you possibly safely can do. We don't want any kids getting hit. If there's a sidewalk, the kids are encouraged to ride on the sidewalk to get out of the road. Walkers going to school, they definitely need to be on the sidewalk if there's one available for them. The City of Madison has gone to great lengths to install many sidewalks throughout the city. So there are some areas that don't have it, like Burgreen Road. I think that might be the plans. I'm not sure. But there's always a way to where you're not having to be on the road, especially a 11, 10, 9-year-old child trying to get to school.
Right.
So give them as much space as you can as you go by them. Just be very careful. I mean, imagine that was your child walking down the road or riding their bicycle down the road.
Absolutely. And I think it's great that people can walk and ride their bikes to school in Madison. We're a small enough community, and that takes some of the cars off of the roadways, so it's a positive thing that people can walk and ride. But like you said, just pay attention, give them space.
Pay attention, be careful, stay off your phones, don't eat. Look, kids are going to be kids.
Common sense things, but we all need those reminders.
Absolutely.
All right. So how can residents be part of the solution? Can they report unsafe driving? And what helps your team the most?
To be honest with you, what would help us the most is if people left their house earlier. Give enough time to get to where they're going so they're not rushed, so they can slow down. They're not going to speed or anything like that. For the residents that they have, I know we've got a lot of construction going on in the city. Luckily, right now, Mill Road just opened up the other day, so that's great. But Browns Ferry and Burr Green, that still got their roundabout closed. There's other construction areas. So people are going to try and find the shortest, quickest route to get to where they're going. So if you've got these people that are speeding through that you believe that are speeding through your neighborhood, call us. Let us know. We take many complaints about speeders through neighborhoods, running stop signs, things like that. Try and when you do this, give us a time of day that it's normally occurring, because it gives us a targeted time frame to be there. If you just call and say, hey, look, on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I've got this one specific car that always speeds up and down the road. I need you to come here and take care of it. Well, I mean, look, we've got a lot of the city to cover. It would be beneficial for us if you can give us, hey, look, they normally come between 8:30 and 9:30 or 9:30, 10:30, whatever the case may be, to where we can target that to try and solve that issue for you. With the amount of vehicular traffic that we have in the city, we can't spend 4 hours in one particular area for one vehicle. We want to try and do the best we can and be the most effective in the amount of time that we
Absolutely. And to wrap up, everyone has, those dumb criminal stories. Okay, so let's talk dumb drivers. Give us a story from your time with Madison Police Department. someone who it's like, oh gosh, come on.
Where to start?
Too many to choose, right?
There's a lot to choose from. I mean, people driving around barricades. We actually had the Browns Ferry shut down from Wall Triana towards Hughes Road towards Hughes Road the other day because Public Works was cutting down some trees and things like that. So I had orange cones blocking off the lane. My car was sitting in the lane. People that were coming off of Browns Ferry to try and go to Hughes, they decided that they wanted to try and go around us to the left and into the turn lane, almost hitting cars head on so they can get around us to continue going eastbound.
That's pretty bold.
I mean, come on.
That's
I
pretty
mean, you're going to
bold.
get yourself hurt or hurt somebody else or hurt our Public Works guys because they're out there doing their job. They've got cones and everything, but I mean, come on. There's no reason for somebody to get hurt just so you can be there 2 minutes early.
Yeah, not worth it. Yep.
People speeding. I mean, I had one today actually in a school zone, and he was doing about 15 miles an hour over the school zone limit. And when I stopped him, he goes, "Well, I didn't see an end school zone sign." I was like, "Because you haven't passed it yet. If you look up the road, it's up there in front of you." I mean, pay attention to the school zone signs.
Yeah.
I mean,
and y'all are very firm about that 25 mile an hour.
absolutely.
At 27, you're pulling them over, right? 26.
We want everybody to be safe.
Yeah.
The way I think about it, and most of my guys on the traffic unit think about it, what if my kid was walking across the road at that time? Would you be able to stop?
Right.
And I mean, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a ticket or anything like that, but we are very strict on it.
It's all in good effort to make sure that our young ones are taken care of. So I think all of the community would join me in saying thank you for doing that. And I think it's just an important reminder as the school year starts to slow down, pay attention, and not be distracted on the road. So
absolutely. And we've had some people say, "Oh, you're just out here to write tickets." That's not the case. The whole purpose of the traffic unit is to change bad driving behavior. So if I can change that bad driving behavior by giving you a warning because you haven't had a ticket in the last 15 years, I'm going to give you a warning, even if you're doing 20 over. But if you've had tickets after tickets, you've had 4 tickets this year already, I'm sorry, a warning is not going to change your bad driving behavior. So maybe another ticket will do.
Consequences.
Yeah, do the consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again. This takes us to the Community Corner segment, giving a little bit of updates on everything that's happening around town. And like you had mentioned earlier, Mill Road is open. That has been great for my commute, and it's really shortening up time getting to City Hall. So I know that all the parents right around Mill Creek Elementary are very happy about that too.
Absolutely. They're not cutting through neighborhoods now.
Yes, which is important because you do have those walkers through the neighborhoods. And Browns Ferry Green Roundabout, that is expected to open mid-August. Crews are working as efficiently as possible. We just ask for the community's patience with that. You know, it's tricky when this is still under construction at the start of school, but if everyone can just take a deep breath, and in a few weeks, we'll all be able to get through that, and that'll be very exciting. Also, the Madison Public Library has one spot open for August's Read to a Therapy program on August 10th. Registration for this is required. You can sign up for a 15-minute session with a trained therapy dog from Therapy Partners, Inc. Bring a book to read or come early and choose a book. A grown-up must stay in the room during the reading session. You can find out more about that on hmcpl.org or on the library's social media pages. I know there's only one spot left for this, but I just thought it was a really cool opportunity that the library is putting together. And if you're ever wondering about stuff to do with your kids or activities going on at the library, they always have a very good program of events at the Madison Public Library. Also, mark your calendars for August 21st. That is the last third Thursday on Main. It's a great time for family to gather downtown for live music, vendors, food, and fun. So thank you again for joining me today.
Absolutely.
This was a good episode, and remember to stay safe behind the wheel on your commute. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for future episodes. Thanks.
Bye, y'all.